Hello and welcome to episode 7 of VetPhysioLife. I'm Shailen Jasani and I'm joined as always by Kim Sheeder. Hi Kim.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
Fine. I'm still coughing well, but I feel absolutely fine, so don't worry if I start coughing.
No, that's good to hear. And big day for you tomorrow car-wise, right?
Yes, get my new car. Can't wait. Thank goodness for that.
Fantastic. So Kim, it's Tuesday evening for those who've lost track of time like me. And so I thought we'd catch up on the cases that you've seen for the last couple of days, and I guess some of them are ones that you see every week.
Yeah, I saw a couple of my regulars, but I actually had a few different ones yesterday. So had an interesting case that I've seen once before yesterday. He's a massive big deerhound who's very, very gorgeous. But he had to have a toe amputated on one of his front legs many moons ago, and he's then, because of that, it's changed the biomechanics and how he uses that foot and that leg to a certain extent, and he's got a bit of arthritis in the next toe, which should have been his middle toe, but is now his inside toe, because obviously the other one has gone. So I'm trying to make him a special shoe, which is a bit like an orthopedic shoe to re-establish give him a bit better foot placement, so he feels a bit more comfortable, wants to use that leg more, and takes the stress off that toe that's got a bit arthritic. So we had a little bit of a play yesterday, and I'm going back next week to do the final fitting. Fingers crossed it's the final fitting anyway. We'll see how he goes.
I want to come back and talk to you about the shoe more, but I also want to hear about what other cases you've seen. So also, is this I can't remember his name, but was this the dog that attended the workshop that you did?
It was one of the dogs that attended the workshop, yes.
Cool. All right, well, let's hear about some other cases, and then I'll come back and talk to you about the shoes, which I find totally fascinating. So,
so who else did I see? I saw my usual regulars, so my Coton de Toulier, he's doing well. A little pug with neurological problems. We're going to start in conjunction with another ACPAT physio. We're going to start some hydrotherapy with her to see if that helps strengthen her up, and I keep on doing the land exercises, etc. Saw my lovely 14-year-old Labrador. He's doing quite well. And I did a monthly check on a lovely Dachshund who had a hemilaminectomy many moons ago, and he's doing very, very well, but his owner likes to have a regular check, make sure he's nice and loose and he's not feeling sore in his back at all.
How old is he?
He is nearly 9 at the moment, so we're almost out of danger zone for slip discs, because by that point in time, Dachshund's spinal discs tend to have got so solid that they don't tend to slip anymore. They don't tend to, the jam doesn't come out anymore. But it's still nice to keep on top and keep a close eye and make sure that they're okay, basically, yeah.
See, now I didn't know that. So you're saying that at a certain age, the incidence falls off, does it, in Dachsies?
So yeah, so that's only with the condrodystrophic dogs. So the dogs with the longer backs, their discs, the jam inside the jam donut turns to almost not quite bone, but it calcifies, so it gets very much harder, and then it can't ooze out anymore. So yeah, and you're usually looking the sort of danger zone for any of the condrodystrophic dogs, so the ones that I was talking about previously, like the corgis and the Dachshunds and the long back dogs, is usually between about 3 to 4 years of age and about 8 to 9 years of age.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We did an episode and a bit of a blog post on that, so I'll link people to that. So. Quick question about the pug that's having hydrotherapy.
Yeah.
What kind of hydrotherapy is the pug going to have?
Oh, underwater treadmill, definitely. Because then you don't have as many problems with breathing problems for the pug. Swimming and pugs doesn't really mix very, very often, very well. And this pug especially, as well as having disc problems in her mid-spine, so in the thoracic spine, which is the bit in between her front legs and her back legs. She's also got syringomyelia. Now, syringomyelia is so it's the formation of syrinxes, which syrinx is just a flash word for pockets of fluid, basically, in the spinal cord, and they're right at the top, up where her head is, at the base of the skull, and just a bit further down. So what you don't want to do with her and dogs that have got syringomyelia is give them positions that force them to have their head up in the air, their nose up in the air for prolonged periods of time. And that would be what you do when you swim, because they have to shove their noses out of the water and their mouth out of the water. So, underwater treadmill by far safer, and she's more likely to be able to cope with it. And most importantly, it's going to be more beneficial for her. If you're continually irritating her spinal cord by making her lift her head out of the water, the hydrotherapy is not actually going to be beneficial. It might even be detrimental. So that's just a waste of time, money, and not very kind on the dog. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'll try and link to something informative about syringomyelia, because I'm sure it's a word that we struggle to remember and say less.
Gosh, yeah, absolutely.
It's also a subject that we won't get into, but like over the years, I think its name's evolved to some degree, and there's been different discussions about what it actually is from.
What it is. Absolutely, yeah.
Cool. So let's get back to these shoes. So just, I guess, a little bit more about, like, you were saying that you did some fitting work, as it were, but what exactly are you doing, and what are you using, and how is the shoe going to be made in kind of simple terms, really?
So it's I've just bought a normal outdoor boot for a dog, not an outdoor boot for a human, that would be weird. An outdoor boot for a dog, and then I'm using a mixture of neoprene and sheepskin. So you're using neoprene to build up, a bit like you would an inner sole, an orthotic inner sole in you. If you go running or something, or you've got falling arches, you might go to a podiatrist or someone and get some special insoles. So I'm using neoprene in exactly the same way to try and do that for the dog, which I've had to cut to shape to try and support the right bit of the foot when they're standing on it. And then I'm going to stick that inside the boot, and then sheepskin, a bit of sheepskin over the top. Wouldn't always need to use sheepskin, but because it's a sight hound, so it's he's got long, skinny, everything, including toes. One of the things you have to be very careful with sight hounds is pressure areas when you add anything to them. So I'm going to use the sheepskin over the top of it all, just to prevent rubbing and pressure. So it's sort of like an insole for a dog boot, I hope, is what we're aiming for, but a special bespoke orthotic for a dog boot.
And how do you say you stick the neoprene into this boot that you've bought?
Yes.
What do you stick it with?
Yeah, good. It's tricky.
Okay.
Neoprene cement, which you have to buy specially because it doesn't really, not much sticks. But yeah, you with a bit of faff and a bit of you can get there eventually, but you have to have the right equipment because it doesn't really work otherwise. But yeah, so I've sewed the layers of neoprene together and to make them thicker to the right thickness, sculpted them so he has the right, so it's comfortable on him and you've got the right thickness in the right bits. And then I'm going to use neoprene cement to stick it to the sole of the shoe.
You should have videoed all of this, because this is brilliant. I love it. And how have you been about? Because I guess you're having to handle his foot quite a lot at the moment, are you? Or?
He's actually been fine. He's been really, really good. I've actually treated the toe that's arthritic as well, because its main problem was it got very, very stiff in the joints, so in his knuckle joints in that toe, because he's been putting so much weight through them. So we've done a couple of treatments and we've managed to loosen those up a lot better, so they're moving a bit more. So that should hopefully help him feel a bit more happy. He's a lovely boy, but he's got two modes basically. He's either horizontal or he's vertical. So as long as there's a treat around, he's a happy man and he doesn't mind. So he's a good lad.
Fantastic. Very cool. We have to share some pictures when he finally has his
yeah,
boots on.
yeah. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, I will do my best. Yes.
And is this something that he wears, like intermittently, or when he's out walking?
So, yeah, what we initially do, mainly it will be, or my hope will be, assuming I can get this to work, which it's still a case of trial and error to a certain extent. But if we can get it to work effectively, then he'll wear it when he's out on walks, because what I want to do is encourage him to spread his weight equally between both front legs, because at this moment in time, he's very much favouring the leg that's had the toe amputated. So that's resulted in muscle loss around his shoulder and around the whole of that arm at that front leg. So he can have the boot on while he's walking, because that hopefully will encourage him to spread his weight more evenly and use the leg more normally once he gets used to it, because hilariously he does the thing that all dogs do when you first put something on their foot, and he's walking around like I've done the worst thing in the world, and he's sort of picking his leg up way further than it should do, and he's walking around like a dressage dog on one leg. It's quite funny. Excuse me, sorry. So he'd do it for walks, and then he'd also wear it to do some exercises, which I will be teaching the owners how to do, because there's no point in doing the exercises if the foot isn't supported, because doing the exercises will all involve increasing the weight through that leg, and if the toe that's there that's arthritic is not being supported, then it's going to be potentially painful, then he's not going to do the exercises effectively. So it will be, so he can have it off in the house, and then he puts it on for his walks and puts it on for his exercises, basically.
Well, fantastic. Well, definitely want to see some pictures. And you said, if it works, is this something that's quite rare for you to need to do, or have you done it before?
I've not done specifically this before. I have adjusted boots and I have made splints, etc. Before and supports. But it's trial and error basically, and ultimately sometimes even with the best boot and the best insole and the best everything in the world, if the dog just doesn't like something on his foot, it's not going to work, because he's going to be annoyed. He's going to annoy it until he's got it off. But the hope is that usually they realise that actually it's a lot more comfortable, despite the fact that it feels a bit weird to have a shoe on. They suddenly realise that actually their foot doesn't hurt as much, and it's actually a bit easier to walk, and then they'll accept it, and they'll get used to it. So but there's always an element of trial and error when you're doing anything like this in animals. And
I guess it also takes a pet carer that's pretty understanding about the fact that it is trial and error, right?
Absolutely, it does. Yes, definitely. Need a bit of patience, I think, is the biggest thing you need as a pet carer with this. But if you can get it to work, it's brilliant, and it works fabulously, and then you can end up having a big improvement in your dog's quality of life. So it is worth persevering, but have to wait and see.
Excellent, fantastic. Well, thanks for explaining all of that, because it's all new to the likes of me. So it's not really an emergency and critical care type of topic. So.
No, indeed.
Fantastic. So we'll catch up in the future about how all of that goes and how he's doing.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll speak again later in the week and find out how your week's going. And good luck with the car tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Take care, Kim.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.